Hello, hello, and welcome to the Introvert Social Hour. Today we are talking about my 2025 music recaps. So, hear me out now. If you don't know me, you're new to me. I like to listen to all music, but that's not necessarily true because people are like, okay, well, do you listen to punk rock? And I'll be like, you got me there. But I am pretty open to my music. But I did discover that a lot of my music this year around, tends to be like most of it is like pop, R&B. Not so much, there was a time period where that alternative was really, but not so much. I feel like there's not as much like new alternative. Maybe I just don't see it. But there is a bit of alternative that dabs into my recap this year. But I will say it's still once again like mainly pop, R&B, and actually throwing in some hip hop this time too. Hip hop actually came up last year too because Kendrick. But this time we're gonna talk about how Cardi B entered up in here and finally dropped that album after 7 years. Okay, yeah, let's talk about it. So I have my notes here, and we're gonna talk about basically what my top five albums were. I'm gonna give you like my songs that I loved and like my top songs of the year. I'm gonna give you some honorable mentions, more so on the albums, and then I'm gonna talk about like my top artists, my artist of the year, new artists I discovered, and give some like dibble dabbles and like song suggestions. So if you like the music that I like that I just talked about, and your vibes are similar, stay along with me for the ride. We're about to go into the 2025 music recap. Let's go. Let me give you my honorable mentions first, the ones that technically would be in top 10 if I did a top 10. Love and Hyperbole by Alessia Cara. I'm an Alessia Cara girl. Ever since she dropped Here, Introvert, yeah, I felt her so bad. I think it was in high school. I was like, that's me. I don't even go to parties. Exactly. And I've never left her side. Some people like to be like, where'd Alessia Cara go? Nowhere. You're just not listening to her. She's dropping fire music. So Love and Hyperbole, she dropped this album this year, top of this year. I will say it's pretty much freaking darn like an almost no skip, to be quite honest with you. I'm just doing one song suggestion per album because I just to keep myself on track. I'm gonna give you Clearly. That's actually the last song on the album. But I actually suggest you go from top to bottom. Listen to the whole thing top to bottom. But my favorite song on the album is Clearly. It just feels it's a feel good song. I could see it being in a movie, or a TV show even. Just people just start like, so they're sleeping on Alessia Cara. So don't sleep on Alessia Cara. Go listen to Love and Hyperbole. And before you do that, actually, go listen to In the Meantime if you haven't, because that album, listen, 2022, it came out in 2021, but it because it came out towards the end of 2021. This 2022, it came through for me when it really did. Yeah, I was going through it and I just kept listening to the album. On top of that, Why Not More by Coco Jones. It wasn't a no skip for me. It was kind of like a half and half, and so that's why it was kind of like it didn't really make it. But she has some really good songs, like the ones that are my favorites on there are like really solid. I'm gonna note By Myself, but I also really love You. Sorry, I'm throwing myself off track already. I said one, but You and By Myself are solid. Then she has some other ones, but I'm not gonna say anymore. But go listen to the whole album. Let me know what you think if you haven't listened to it, or if you have listened to it already. What were your thoughts? What were your favorite songs from that album? But I think it was a solid first album for her. Next up, this is where the alternative comes in. Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party by Haley Williams. I feel like everybody's gonna say this if they listen to Haley Williams' album this year. But Parachute. I thought you were gonna catch me. And then yeah, and then I think it more so got popular because of its connection to potential gossip and her relationship, but it was also just like a really good song. And then last but not least, in honorable mentions goes to Jupiter by Nao. I had a few options here for this one, but I think my top song would be Wildflowers. Yeah, but that one was also not a no skip, and which is why I kind of flipped and flopped. It was also about a half and half, in similarity to Coco Jones. I would say the same thing for Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party. So if I did a top six, Love and Hyperbole would go up next. Everything else was kind of out of order, but maybe in a way it kind of is. I don't know. Those are my honorable mentions. Let's get into my official top fives. Number five goes to Bite Me by Renee Rapp. Renee, you did your thing, sis. I liked Renee's first album. I can't remember the name of it right now. But I really liked that one when it did come out like a few years ago. Not a year ago, like I think it was 2023. But I think she did a solid job with this one. This one was pretty much no skip as well. My favorite actually was Sometimes. I love a good ballad. So go check that out. I suggest go listen to the full thing, but Sometimes is I decided that is my favorite, but she has some really good ones on there. I will leave me alone and I wanna have fun. Like, all those options, they're there. She has a lot of good options there. Number four, Demisha. I love me some Demi Lovato. Some Demisha Lovato. I do. It's Not That Deep by Demi Lovato. I actually think in regards to pop albums, a lot of people slept on Demi's album this year, which I didn't think would happen. One, because it's Demi, but two, Demi was entering into her pop bag again. Popish, some people tried to say and tried to compare her to Charlie. I was like, Demi's been doing this. Don't do that. People trying to be like, oh, she's copying Charlie. No, 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 no. Demi's been dipping into different categories. Demi can sing whatever she want to sing. She want to sing some pop, some rock, some oons oons. She could do that. And I think she did a fantastic job. I listened to every era that she had. When she had her rock era, I still listened to it. I dibbled and dappled, but I think this album here was like a full refresh for her. I mean, I feel like some of them are, to be quite honest. She'd be going through it sometimes. But this one was like, oh, like she's opened her mind up to like the music, and you could tell she's happy or she's joyful, and like it doesn't have to be that to make it a good album. But I feel like she had fun with this album and she took her creative freedoms really fully here, and it was just so fun to listen to. She had ballads on there. She had some really feels up in there, and they were still good and like just so like for me, I really do think this one is a no skip album for me. Like you can literally play it from top to bottom and like you're good. So I like Say It, right? Party vibe, and then I'm gonna add Ghost as a ballad option because it played in my head, and I was like, if it started playing in my head, then I gotta tell you. So those are my two top. Number three goes to Drummo, Love or Something Like It by Halle Bailey. Now, listen, when it comes to albums that we've been waiting for a very long time, Halle, you're on that list, girl, and you know it. As a Halle fan, raise your hand if you're a Halle fan. Okay, we've been through it. The amount of time she was like, here's a little sprinkle here, a little sprinkle here of a song, sprinkle here of a song. We'd be like, oh my gosh, girl, we love this. Where's the rest of it? And she's like, hmm. And then she finally drops it like 2, 3, 4 years later, depending on the song. It's just so funny to me. Back and forth. What did she? I think she sampled that, gave us a little sample of that like 3, 4 years ago. It feels like that at least. It was for sure at least three. And I remember being like, I need to hear the rest of it. And we finally got the rest of it this year, y'all. Thank you. And we got it as a single before she dropped in the album. But I'm just saying, like, that's how long it was taking for us. I was like, at this point, girl, hold the sample because you're stressing me out. But my favorite from the album actually is Heaven. Send me straight to heaven. Eh, da, 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 da. Yes. She had some really solid collaborations as well, along with Mariah the Scientist. I can't relate to it. Same thing for like By Myself by Coco Jones, but it's still like really beautiful, and whatever Halle sings is really beautiful too. But like it was also just like I can't think of the word, sonically. I think is the word I'm looking for, sonically beautiful as well. Number two, did y'all really think I was gonna leave Olivia Dean out? I wasn't gonna leave Olivia Dean out. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Olivia earns that spot. The Art of Loving by Olivia Dean. Yeah, girl, you could. If I could have bought your tickets, I would have gave you my tickets, sis. But I can buy your tickets because everybody else was trying to buy your tickets and then trying to resell them, and then it was just a whole thing. But she made it work. She was like, "You're not about to do that." But I wasn't around when she hit the Uno reverse, so I couldn't grab whatever was left on the platter. But it's okay. The Art of Loving by Olivia Dean, solid. If you haven't listened to it, where have you been? Olivia Dean blew up this summer. I'm late to the party. I acknowledge that. I will say that's why The Art of Loving wasn't in my number one album for my Spotify Wrapped, actually, because I was also just listening to her whole entire discography, and I was finding songs that weren't in The Art of Loving that I really love from her too. And I'll talk about that when I get to the songs. Loud. Loud is my favorite from The Art of Loving. That was a hard choice, but I think of when someone's like, what is like the feeling kind of The Art of Loving in a sense? I feel like that's a good way to start. There's some feel goods and there's some not feel goods, and Loud is definitely one of those not feel goods. And then you have things like Baby Steps, where you're like, no, I'm gonna be good without you. And there's a story, there's a journey there that she has in that entire album. So once again, as I said before, in other ones, top to bottom, go ahead and listen to it top to bottom. Last but not least, number one, Drumroll. Am I the Drama by Cardi B? Dun it, dun it, dun it, dun it, dun it, dun it, dun it. Cardi, 7 years in the making, sis. 7 years in the making. You did your big one though. You did your big one. No skips. No skips. And for me, I like hip hop, but I don't like everybody's hip hop. And I like specific ones. I've used to be more old school hip hop only. And then I think as like Megan came into the mix a bit more, and Cardi came into the mix a bit more, Cardi technically first, like Bodak Yellow and stuff, and then Megan came into the mix a bit more. And I even like Glow, you know what I'm saying? So when they started kind of coming into the mix, I was like, wait, I'm vibing with this. I like this. Especially with Cardi, big on the storytelling with her album. She's a perfectionist. If you're a fan of Cardi, you know she's a perfectionist. And so you could tell that the music placement, the song placements were very important to her and very intentional because you're listening to it and you're getting put through a story. And yes, if you're like pop culture like me, you kind of know that story already. But also if you don't, you can kind of get an idea of where things led and how they are now and things like that. Outside of also she added like Up and like WAP and stuff like that. Those don't tie into the album, but I get why she put them there because she had so many freaking singles in between album one and album two. Why not? But yeah, outside of that, the album works really wonderful together. And I love that she gives us some slow stuff, some some party bops, some I'm gonna fight you bops kind of thing. Not necessarily fight you, but like try me if you want to drop some bops. I will say I like Every Time better. Every Time is gonna be my number one. But I'm gonna give a nod to Pick It Up. I didn't think I'd like that. Just I just didn't. But I listened to it. I said, wait, I like this a lot. You did your thing, Cardi. Let me not doubt you. So that one was a good one. We're gonna move on to my songs. I'm just gonna list them. So you probably noticed how I didn't mention anything in regards to the Ariana Grande Deluxe. I just don't I don't really count deluxes. I know they are technically new albums, but I don't count them because I've already listened to a good chunk of the album, so I just don't count it in my like 2025 recap because it was already my 2024. But I do want to give a nod to some songs from there. I'm just gonna pick one from Eternal Sunshine Deluxe, which is gonna be Dandelion. I really like Dandelion. I feel like a lot of people did. Na, 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 na. Like that's for me. I love upbeat Ariana. Like I love when she gets into her like R&B Anna bag. So for me, I was like, wait, the beat. She's a producer and also did it with Max Martin too. So it was good. It was good. I'll give a nod to Twilight Zone as well though. Next, Rather Be Alone by Leon Thomas and Halle Bailey. Solid single. Loved it down. It's a good play. When I think about how I don't know if everybody can relate to like driving in the car when you're a kid and your family or your parents or your guardians like playing like their music, their old school music. I feel like that's gonna be one of those songs that gets played in the mix of things. For me, it's like 102.9 KBLX where it was playing like the Anita Baker, Luther Vandross, and all those people. I feel like that's gonna slide into like the our current times of R&B when it's getting played down the line. 10, 20 years from now, who knows? We getting up there, y'all. Next up, when I was talking about Olivia Dean and like really diving into her discography, my favorite song I've discovered, I think it's my favorite Olivia Dean song of all time, is It Isn't Perfect, but It Might Be. It's actually from the Bridget Jones Diary 4, question mark? 4? Movie. I really liked it. Olivia, I'm so sorry that I don't know what happened, sis. You kind of slid through my radar. Usually I catch people like you early on. I feel unimportant because I caught on when everybody else caught on. I feel like I should have been like, yeah, y'all were late. I, I was late. I was late with everybody else. But she did her thing. And her album before that, Messy, solid. So go check that out as well. If you like the art of loving, go check that out as well. Next up, Oceans by Tori Kelly. I have Starside Intro by Chance the rapper. I haven't finished his full album yet. It's not his fault. I started listening to it. I got stuck doing something else and then I never went back to it. But I like the Starside Intro. Can't go anywhere without dropping Where Is My Husband by Ray. Duh. But also, um, this is a side note. It wasn't dropped this year, I believe, but Worth It by Ray is a solid single as well. And then I gotta, for my musical girly heart, I gotta drop No Good Deed by Wicked for Good, aka Cynthia Erivo. She ate down. If you ever need to just feel something, uh, play No Good Deed on speaker in your place. That Fiero's gonna hit, okay? And then last but not least, on my singles, or just like songs specifically, Open Hearts by The Weeknd. Not a single, but it was part of his album. Wasn't a huge fan of the album, not gonna hold you. There were just certain songs that I picked out. I am a The Weeknd fan. I played The Weeknd like nobody's business into late high school, into college, right? I loved when he dropped Starboy. A lot of people were like, "Oh my gosh, what does this sound?" And then he dropped oh my gosh, I can't think of his other album right after that. But that album was like a catalyst into the rest of his albums from there. So for me, everything's starting to kind of sound the same. I'm not even gonna hold you. Because he's kind of been stuck in the same sound for like the past like 5-ish years or so, it feels like. Maybe 5 plus at this point. So I'm just waiting here for him to like give me something different because even the album itself was starting to like the songs were starting to blend. Even the songs that I liked, I was even like I purposely went back so I could write these in my notes. I was like, this sounds like they could blend in together. And it's not like this song is right after this song or right before that like they're supposed to blend it together. This song is number 2 on the album. This song is number 8, and they're sounding like really, really like. So that's the only thing. I would just like him to mix it up. That's all. But I did like Open Hearts. That is the first pick of mine. But there were like 2 other songs on the album that I liked as well. Moving on. So new artist to me. I wanted to share with you. Olivia Dean. We talked about her. Period. Point and blank. She did her big one. Fun fact. Don't get me. I am new to Cleo Soul. I know. Ooh, don't get me, don't get me, don't get me. I would hear people talk about her and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, okay, like, okay, like nobody was ever just. They were just like, oh, I love Cleo Soul. Cleo Soul. They were never like, oh my gosh, you gotta listen to this and this and that. So it just never happened. And so I finally did it this year. I was like, let me play some of her like music and be more intentional. And so I've dove in to Cleo Soul this year. My tops for her that I discovered: Sweet Blue, Sunshine, and When I'm in Your Arms. If you have any other top suggestions by Cleo Soul, I will gladly take them from you right now. Drop them in the comments and I will take them and I will go ahead and listen because I'm diving in on my own here. But I do need to discover more of her music for surezies. And then last but not least, Amber Mark. I feel like her and Olivia Dean kind of got pushed to me at the same time on Spotify specifically. Their vibes are not the same. I would say Amber Mark is a bit pop, funk, R&B-ish kind of vibes. So she dropped an album this year as well. Some of my favorites are Too Much, uh, By the End of the Night, and Let Me Love You. And her album is called Pretty Idea, by the way. If I were to choose between those 3, maybe I would do Too Much. I think I'm leaning back to that one. But By the End of the Night is a close one too. I think they're kind of neck and neck, but Too Much just a little bit over there. It's like a nice chill song, and by the night's more like funk vibes. So that would be the go-to there. But yeah, if you are not new to Amber Mark, I would gladly take other suggestions as well. But from my recollection, she has a few things that I've dipped into. She has some other songs that are not in this album that I've already experienced. But if there are any others that I may not have seen, feel free to drop them. You never know. Maybe I haven't seen them or heard of them already. Okay, you've heard my 2025 recap for music. You've heard my top albums. You've heard my audible mentions. You've heard my top songs. Not necessarily the top songs, but my favorite songs I wanted to note. And then you've heard my like new artists that I've listened to. And now I'm going to share with you my artist of the year, my personal artist of the year. So I reflected over this and I was like, who was I listening to the most? I even considered my Spotify rap data, things like that. And so I decided to go with, drumroll, Olivia Dean. Surprise, surprise. She's probably a lot of people's artist of the year, but let me tell you specifically why for me. I did not discover Olivia Dean fully, I believe, until August of 2025. By that time, I had various artists who had dropped music before or were dropping music at the same time. And her album didn't come out until September, end of September, right? The fact that she was able to jump so high in my Spotify Wrapped and I replayed her like nobody's business like that tells me enough as is. But also the fact that I super dove into her discography. There's no artist that I've done that heavy for, not this year, but like if anything, it's like Beyonce, Ariana Grande, like people I already know who are just like revisiting stuff. For me to like go back that heavy, because she got a whole album and she's got other singles and stuff too, and to enjoy the stuff that I went back to, because sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes there's artists that I like now, and I like their like stuff that they dropped recently, and then I go back and I'm like, I'm not really feeling that discography, but I like their direction that they went in now. Like her direction has always been pretty darn clear and pretty darn crisp, and I think she's just now getting discovered, but there's really nothing super different about what she's doing now compared to before. So I'm really excited for her and I'm really excited to keep listening to her music. And I hope I can get concert tickets. Like those were like sold out, sold out. Like it was a little bit different for Ariana Grande for the Eternal Sunshine tour because Those were like, there's no freaking way I'm paying $600 for a nosebleed. Like, you're tripping. That was a reseller issue that I thought Ariana Grande's team would fix, but they haven't yet. I hope they still do. They made it seem like they were. I don't know what's in their hands. Now that I've seen Olivia Dean do it, I'm like, if Olivia Dean can do it, Ariana Grande's team could do, like, like, let's make something happen here. But we'll see. I really would like to see both of them next year. That is my plan. I'm not seeing Cardi. The her tour time is a little off for me, if my financially especially too. So if I can make that happen, it would be a last minute decision. But I would like to. She just did her like Saudi Arabia performance, I believe, and you got to see like some snippets of some choreography by Sean and stuff too. So that would be fun. I would like that. But my priority was concerting this year. I got to see Kendrick Lamar, SZA, Beyonce. I saw Flo. Um, the next year is not really that priority. My priority more so is traveling and putting my money more so into that. Cause like Beyonce, girl, you got a lot of my money. The tickets were actually cheaper than I thought, which this is how I girl math my way into like a Cowboy Carter hoodie. But like normal me is not paying $150 for no Cowboy Carter hoodie. You know what I'm saying? Like, so next year I just want to enjoy using my funds to explore places and stuff. But diving into music still in other ways, even if it's not a concert. But if Ariana Grande's not touring again, like I was like, Olivia Dean, I could wait. Like, we can figure that out later. Ariana Grande, there's a very big chance that she's not coming back for like 7 years. She might even pull a Rihanna. Okay? That's what I'm scared about. So, and I've never seen her for financial reasons, not because like I didn't want to. So I really want to this time. I can afford her this time, but I'm not affording overpriced tickets. I'm affording the regular price ticket. So crossing my fingers that I can hopefully get the tickets one day. I'm so jealous of everybody who has tickets. Ticketmaster was not nice to me, like at all. I was in line, they kicked me off. They said I was a bot and I wasn't a bot. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But yeah, let me know who was your artist of the year actually? What were your top albums? All the things like that. Your favorite songs. If you have any suggestions, I will gladly take them. If you're like, hey Vana, I have some suggestions and like other genres that you can dip into, let me know. I will gladly take them as well. Make sure you're checking out the other recaps that I'm doing, whether it is movies, TV shows, or also books. Stay tuned for those, or also go back to them if they're already out. But other than that, get some sunshine, get some air, have an amazing, amazing week, and I will see you on the next episode of the Introvert Social Hour. Bye.